Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a community update for December 9th, 2019, where we go over the boosted Undead summoning chances and the Dragon tournament and the offers currently going on, and just kind of discuss the general things going on in the game right now. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, you'll notice my voice is still a little bit hoarse. I think I'm starting to come out of it. It's been like 7 days. I've never been sick for 7 days in my life, so this is the worst I've ever gotten anything in my life, but doctor just says I gotta kind of let it run its course. Okay, so anyway, we've got an Undead Hordes summoning event, 5 times chance to summon champions from the Undead Hordes. So let's go ahead and kind of dive into discussing this. This is kind of interesting. I don't know that they kind of implemented this out of left field. I didn't really hear about this coming, and I don't know what to think about this. I think it's kind of a cool idea, and honestly, if it were Night Revenant, it may induce me to pull a bunch of shards. So I think the best route to go for these type of events is like if there's an epic that you're really looking for out of that faction, or a rare. I think it's too unreliable to expect to get a legendary out of that faction. And especially when shards aren't ×2 chance, I wouldn't recommend pulling your shards. But if this were a ×10 chance for Night Revenant, I would at least consider it, because I really need Miscreated Monster. I have not been able to get him. He's the last epic in the Night Revenant that I can't get. But even then, it'd be tough for me to justify pulling my shards when they're ×1. Now, if you're somebody who needs like a Cold Heart, and you have some Void Shards saved up, and it was an increased chance for Dark Elves, then I could see it being a little bit more worth it for that person. But in general, this type of event doesn't really do it for me. I don't think it's that great, especially if you're not going to buff the chance of shards. I think it's a decent idea, but I think 3 days is a little bit too long. I would have kept it at like a day and a half or 2 days, or actually I think it was 4 days, because it's been live for a little bit here. But yeah, I think a little bit too long and a little bit too underwhelming. It doesn't really do it for me. I don't think this is going to really incentivize a lot of people to, pull a bunch of shards, especially like end game players. Okay, also, we've got the Dragon tournament coming online here. It's going to be a 3-day tournament, and you'll see here that I'm rank 1 at 1900 points. I was grinding this during the day. Now, one thing worth noting here that I really dislike is these used to be full sets for getting top 2 or top 3, and I really dislike they've changed this to being a 4-piece epic. Now, Dragon's one of those dungeons that I have to grind anyway at the state of the game that I am currently in, so I'm gonna do it enough to maybe get the 2700. I'm not gonna get in a whale war with somebody going for 4 pieces of Relentless, but I'm gonna get the 2700 points and kind of call it good. We do get the Reflex set pieces here. Reflex set is a decent set. It's really good on champions that only have 1 impactful cooldown, like Bad Alcazar is a perfect example. His Malice ability is his only cooldown, so he's actually pretty good with the Reflex set. But yeah, the Reflex set isn't like a god tier set. It's just, pretty good on certain champions. And I really wish this was 6-piece. Like, this should be 6-piece or 6-piece 6-star legendary for number 1, and then it should kind of scale down to like the top 3, top 5, all getting 4 to 6 pieces of Relentless. So I'm kind of dumbfounded as to why they changed this to only 4. It used to be 6, and it used to make me excited for the events, as I'm sure some of you out there. But yeah, so because of that, the rewards are kind of underwhelming. They were heading in the right direction on these, so I don't know why they went backwards. They were giving out like 150,000 silver. Now it's back down to like 75. I swear this used to be like 80 gems. Now it's 50. They used to give out like 2 different sets, which doesn't really matter. 4 of one set or 2 of 2 different ones is kind of negligible. And then I swear they used to max out at like 2,500 where you would get your chicken. Now it's 2,700. So they're making these a little bit worse, and then also making the rewards a little bit worse. I mean, come on, Plarium. I thought we were turning the corner here. I was really starting to, recommend the events and be excited about them, but they're really trending downwards in like 2 different directions. So a little bit disappointing there, but if you need Dragon gear, and if you're curious, if you're grinding Dragon 20, it's going to take about 2,600 energy to max this out at 2,700. So, I'm okay with spending the energy anyway, because it's a dungeon that I need to grind. If Dragon isn't something you need to grind, then honestly, it's not a bad idea to skip this. And as you can see, a lot of my group seems to be skipping this. There's only 10 out of 50 people even remotely interested in participating in this, and there's only 2 people like going hard. So yeah, Plarium, come on, I need you to step up and make these events a little bit better here. We were headed in the right direction, and now we're kind of going backwards, which is unfortunate. All right, so let's go over the events. It's just the training event, so remember this is going to be ending in 9-10 hours, so make sure this was a pretty solid event. You can never really go wrong leveling up your champions, so I recommend, if you can, try to max this out whenever we can get books. It's a good idea to try to do it, and you can't go wrong leveling up your champions. So if you can, get this done today. And all in all, that was a pretty decent event. All right, so let's go over some of the offers that are coming through here in the shop. All right, so we've got, let's rank this down here a little bit. This offer, I swear it used to be better. It's like been slowly getting worse, I feel like. But let's go over this here. So 7 and 7, and then 3250. No, 1 too many zeros, and then 3,000. I swear it used to be like 3,300 gems. So yeah, this grades out as something I wouldn't recommend. We need. Oh, that's even with 3,300. I mixed myself up by talking, but yeah. So this is a 1.4 worth $92 or $93. I don't recommend that offer unless you're really hard up for books or gems or something, but I think you can get more value in spending your raid budget elsewhere. So that's one that I don't recommend, and honestly it's disappointing because that used to be one of the better offers that I would scoop up. This offer here on the left is going to be better for like newer players. Okay, so let's go, because like endgame players don't really have a lot of use for rare books, but beginners definitely need rare books. So this offer is pretty decent for like a beginner, or maybe even somebody who's like early mid game. I just cannot get the zeros right today. That's funny. And then 1,500 gems. Okay, so yeah, this one is even worse. It's actually grading out in the red at a 1.19. So yeah, I would like to see, these are pretty common offers, so I hope they step up to the plate and make these a little bit better, because right now I can't really recommend either of those. The Conqueror pack, they keep giving me the 9.91 one. I'm waiting for them to give me the $5 ones so I can start buying them again, but they just will not budge on this. So it looks like the $9.99 ones are here to stay. And I have heard rumors of them actually bumping it up and offering a $15 one, which makes me a little bit disappointed. And let me know down in the comments if you've gotten a $15 Conqueror pack offer, because I was really hoping that they would go back and start giving me the $5 ones, because they would get a lot more money from me if they would do so. The Great Deal Mix Pack. This one's a little bit interesting here. I don't know what to think about this at first glance. It looks like it could be decent, but not great. So we've got 2 Legendary and 7 Epic. And then it looks like 3060 Brews and 950 and be interesting. Okay, so 950 energy as well. So yeah, 27. This one also grades out in the bad. So if you remember right, like a week or two ago, we had like a week or two stretch there where the offers were like really good. I was like, what's going on here? There's so many good offers coming through the shop. Now it seems like they're really taking a step back in terms of scaling the event back a little bit, and the new offers have been scaling way back. So that was a fun stretch, and they were probably seeing how it would go and how much they could capitalize on that. Now they're pulling the reins back and seeing how much it'll hurt them maybe. So, Plarium's kind of doing a little bit of marketing here, a little bit of heat checking, and seeing exactly where is the sweet spot and getting people to spend. But I think they're pulling a little bit too far back in terms, because I know for sure I'm going to be spending a lot less this week than I was, the previous 2 weeks or so when the offers were really good. So I hope, the player base's spending habits will be able to, catapult them, up into the good offers again. But the gear set offers have gotten a lot better in the last like month or so. These used to be garbage. Like this would be like $35, no joke. Like this offer here used to be like $35, and it used to be like 4 pieces. So for like a beginner or a mid-game player, this is actually a pretty good gamble worth doing, because it's going to help you out a lot in like the arena and speed farming dungeons. The Cruel set is very good. It's going to buff your attack and also ignore enemy defense, which is a very strong effect. So Cruel is amazing for the arena and speed farming dungeons. So the fact that it's a full set of Legendary is a pretty decent gamble for $20. It's not great. If it were like $14.99, I would say it's a great offer. If it were, $23, $24, I would say it's bad. 17 to 20, somewhere in there. I would say it's a decent gamble. Remember, as always with these gear sets, I tend to not like recommending them because it's a very good chance you spend $20 and you basically only get a little bit of silver and a little bit of energy. So it's kind of a risky buy, but in terms of for a beginner or a mid-game player who needs some gear, this is actually a pretty decent gamble here. So yeah, that's gonna kind of do it for everything I wanted to cover in this video. The Undead summoning thing, let me know what you think about it. I think it's a little bit underwhelming. I wish there was a little bit more to it. It just seems, you know, I guess it's better than nothing, you know, but I think it's a little bit too long. I would like it to be, you know, 1 or 2 days and kind of maybe cycle through. We'll see how that goes in terms of how these play out. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you guys posted for sure. But yeah, it's going to kind of do it for this community update. And thank you for watching. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments and have a good rest of your day. Peace.